Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our last meeting in English this year. Now is the time that you say, "Oh, come on, can't hear you." Oh my God! Thank you. Then later you give me the Zell. I'll just put that.
Okay, that's your email.
So, we're getting closer to holidays, we're getting closer to Christmas, we're getting closer to New Year's Eve. And with that, we have to remember that
The other way around.
we're here to celebrate somebody that came to earth not to be served. Somebody that came to earth to serve. He couldn't do the opposite, couldn't he? He couldn't come here like Judas always wanted in a bright white horse and an army behind him and say, "Yeah, do what I want." But instead, he came to serve. He didn't show, "Okay, are you seeing this wave right there? Yeah, just throw the net. There's plenty of fish over there." He was the first on the boat and the first to throw the net. Why? Because in the end, if you want to get better, if you want to get real with yourself, with your immortal soul, with your incarnation, understand that we are here to serve. And it's not that hard, and it's not that bad. Sometimes it's hard to serve somebody that we don't know, we don't like too much. Think about Christmas time when you have the whole family get together. The easiest way is to serve the ones that you like, right? But what about the peg leg, the one that you really, it's a rock in your shoe? Well, people say take it out and make it a castle. Well, it's still a castle made of rock. No, not very comfortable. But what is the problem? And that's what we talk about all the time here in the Spirit Center. You can see a problem as what we think. When you hear the word problem, your guts say, "Oh, I don't like it." But what if a problem is an opportunity? It's an opportunity to get better. It's an opportunity to do better. It's an opportunity to serve better. Because in the end, we learned that from the early ages that if you want something, what we do when you were a baby? You cry. And if the cry doesn't work, you cry louder, up to a point that you yell. So we get used to yell to get something out of nothing. And now comes somebody tells, "No, serve to be served, help to be helped, love to be loved." And we still don't have that too much inside of us, do we? We need to first serve ourselves and love ourselves. Otherwise, you have nothing to give back. Nothing. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love anybody. Am I wrong?
No.
So, who did you serve today?
My husband.
Good for you.
Starting the day, as every day.
I served my wife and my wife's family. I made the breakfast. I did pretty much everything. I went to some meetings and I serve as a mediator for some. I serve as a friend for some others, and I give. And of course, in the middle of the day when you're really busy, here comes the curveball, and somebody calls you and they need to talk to you, and you say, "Oh my God, what I'm gonna do?" And all of a sudden, you're doing what you do the best: serve. Here, understand. Even if you can do anything, just stop. Think about it. It's not that hard, but it's not that easy. I will not lie to you. It's not that easy. But that is a saying that say, start. Start with fear. We start with doubts. Start even if we don't know what to do. Start if you don't have the resources. Just start. Just put the first step in front and let your body do the movement. It will come to you. I'm not going to challenge you right now to come here and give a lecture on something that you guys like, but I totally believe that if I ask you to come here to talk 5 minutes about something that you really like, you will do it. And you know why you don't? Because you sabotage yourself. You say, I cannot do it. When you say, I cannot, your brain say, yes, let me find some ways to sabotage. It's the same with serving. Can you serve? Yes, but I don't want it. Okay, so you're not going to do it. End of game. Just as the Son of the Man came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life a ransom for many. So he gave his life. He suffered the human conditions in all its fullness, sharing the joys, the pains, and the challenges of earthly life. Did he need to do that? In our limited conception, did he need to do it? No, he didn't. But thank God, he has a better vision than us. So he thought that the only way for us to understand a little bit of what he was talking about, it should be like us. Because all the paintings, all the references to God paint a human figure. We cannot understand something that we cannot put in perspective. So he needs to come as a human, suffer as a human, give his experience for people to understand. But still nowadays, what we say, I'm not Jesus. I cannot do that. Yes, keep saying, I cannot, you cannot. It's simple as that. And what Jesus told us is not be just like me, because he knows that it's hard for us in this planet. But what he said is try. One step at a time. Try. How you start trying? Who can I serve? Who can I help? This demonstrates deep commitment to humanity and compassionate empathy. I ask you guys once, but as I have new people here, what is the difference in between sympathy and empathy? Please don't talk everyone at the same time. I cannot hear you. Sympathy is talk, is listen to respond. You stop, you took a breath, I'm responding. Empathy is listening to understand. People say empathy is getting into your partner's shoes, somebody else's shoes. You're never going to do that. You don't have the same DNA. But you can get to his side and feel the way he feels. The lady that did, I don't know if you know the app Calm. It's for meditation. The lady that put that together, she was telling once that her friend lost her partner in life. And all she did for 6 months was go to her house, sit on her side, and speak nothing. A year and a half after, her friend just called her, said, that time was pivotal for me. That was the greatest time. You be with me, you support me. She didn't say a thing. There was nothing to be said. But it's something to give. Sometimes we do have this kind of situation on our sides, but sometimes we choose not to do it. Sometimes we choose not to serve it. Here comes Christmas, here comes Santa Claus, and here comes all your great family with everything that you like and everybody that you don't. Are you going to serve them? Turkey, gravy, kindness, compassion? Are you going to give some time to them to validate them, or you're going to do just as the other ears and do nothing. Or, yeah, he has some food allergies. Let me put some peanuts here and see what's going on. That's going to be fun. Well, that can happen. Don't laugh, guys. I know some cases.
You promised you wouldn't tell anybody.
Yeah, you don't have allergies, do you? So I use some books. One is the Gospel According to Emmanuel, and he analyzed the Gospel of all the evangelists. This is according to Lucas, and in this Gospel, Francisco Xavier, Chico Xavier, the greatest medium of Brazil, he's discarnated now. He channeled information from the spirit of Emmanuel. And Emmanuel was saying, Christ did not pass among men as who imposes, nor as one who determines, not as someone who governs, not even as the one in charge. He walked on earth in the form of a servant. And nowadays, we are refusing on our professional environment what we call bosses, right? What the bosses show? They impose, they determine, they govern, and they charge. And now we don't like this anymore. We like leaders that inspire. How do you inspire? Hey, this is not a business meeting, but in fact, it is too. Be a servant. Have you ever seen a leader serve his employees? When he does that, he's not a leader anymore. He's one of the pack. And he'll be respected because of that. But you don't do that, and Jesus didn't do that just for being respect. It's because kindness generates kindness. Good energy generates good energy. Your heart has an impact of 50 meters radius around you. So that's how you can impact with just your biology. Being kind, you generate this kind of waves, positive waves, that will come back to you. That is so simple. But that's not why he did that. He did that just because that's the way it is. That's the way you progress. That's the way you will achieve greater things in life. He passed on to us the gospel of life, written the epic in the hearts of creatures. So the gospel of life, it's how good can you be? How good can you do? What else can you do to get better? In Luke 22:27, for who is the greater, he who sits at the table or he who serves? It is not he who sits at the table, yet I am among you as the ones who serve. It's easy to be served. I remember that my first marriage, I heard in the middle of fight of divorce and everything, my ex-wife telling me that she was born to be loved. She was born to be loved, so probably she's not going to love anybody until she got loved. And this doesn't work like this. You give. Not willing to get back, but you give. And when you give, you get back. Even if the person doesn't want to, because the energy comes back to you, the energy that you generate. But if you generate a bad energy, that's what you get back. And correct me if I'm wrong. What are the spirits made of? Energy. So you are given bad energy and you wonder what kind of spirits around you. I don't know. Maybe. If you are giving bad energy, if you are transmitting, if you are generating bad energy, the possibility is that spirits will cope with that energy because they have the same one. So please don't try to get bananas if you plant pineapples. Try to change the crop, change the seed. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. The central message of Christianity is love and redemption, and the view of Jesus as a servant reflects this emphasis on sacrificial love and concern for others. Rather than exercising power in conventional ways, Jesus demonstrates a deeper, more transformative power through service and sacrifice. We hate to hear this word sacrifice, don't we? I don't want to be sacrificed. Well, maybe every day you sacrifice something for something else, right? To get something in terms that is acceptable, you sacrifice your ways. You sacrifice what you want. Sacrifice is not that hard when you think small, but sacrifice is like, oh, I'm going to be crucified. He did. We didn't. But still we feel like when I talk about sacrifice, sacrifice is just do something that you're not willing to do, not because it's not nice or it's not good, but because of our ego. Oh, what ego stands for.
What's that?
What ego stands for.
Edging God out.
Ego can be understood as edging God out. When you think about your ego too much, you're taking God out of the equation.
Yeah.
So when the ego get the ism after that, that means that the sickness is installed. Egoism is the sickness of the ego. And sometimes, because we don't see that in ourselves, we understand everything as a sacrifice. When it's just a matter of serving in a different way. It's all about perspective. Are you with me on this? It's all about perspective. If you see something as too bad, that's what it is. That is a saying. Who here likes problems? Who here likes problems? Raise your hands. And although that is a saying, again, this is on business side, that if you don't like problems, you don't like money. Because problems is what we solve for our customers. All day long, we solve their problems. And transform to your life. If you don't like problems, you don't like your life. Because you solve problems to yourself and to your partners and to your family. So problems are nothing but opportunities. Nothing but opportunities. Try. I can be a charlatan talking to you right here. Don't believe in me. Try. Do it yourself. Tomorrow when the problem arises, try to see an opportunity behind that and go for it. If it works, next year you're going to say, hey, it works. Because that's what we want to see. People progressing, understanding better things, and serving. Because if you solve a problem, you are serving, correct? Heavenly envoy, he does not stop at the earthly throne and approaches the crowd to help them. Founder of Boa Nova, good news, he does not simply wave its crown with study works, but extends and consolidates its values with his own hands. So besides being the greatest servant, he was the greatest leader of all as well. He has all the, bells and whistles that a good leader has to demonstrate. Practice is the way to convince him. Don't talk, do. Have you ever tried to get your belly full by reading the menu? It's the same with everything. It's amazing to read many books. Believe me, I'm a consultant. It's awesome when somebody talks to you and cite this book and this and this and this, and you do nothing with it. For what? For what? You gain respect? He does not simply wave its crown with study works. Those are studied works. When you put some words to impress. But then you go to a supermarket and you start yelling at the lady and the cashier because she's taking too long. Whoa, great. So all the study, word for study. You don't put in practice. Practice is the way to convince him. Sacrifice itself is your method of transforming. What is sacrifice yourself? Can you tell me? Don't even go to you. But can you remember this week one time that you sacrificed yourself for something else? It's not hard. It can be a small thing. Can you share with us?
Whenever I wake up early in the morning, I would like to be sleeping to prepare breakfast for the kids.
See, kids? See, kids? That's a sacrifice, but for you it's just breakfast. It's a matter of perspective.
I love to sleep.
That's a matter of perspective.
Then you look at the kid.
This guy wake up at
Wake
5,
up
4?
early.
No?
4:30.
This guy wake up at 4:30. Not to go to work, to go to the gym. That is sacrifice. Oh yes, it's for himself, but that is sacrifice. I got chills. I get like, oh, get out of here. I'm not gonna wake up at 4:30. Only if the word is about to end. And it doesn't worth it because it's about to end. I'm gonna end sleeping, and that's okay. That's sacrifice. Tell Mom, I'm not gonna even start. You're the champ. You are
No,
because you don't see it as a sacrifice.
I have to woke up 1:30 in the morning, get to airport 2:30, I have to get the flight to come here. 7:05 is the first one to run. I make once a month, every month.
She's a winner. She runs. She fights against three cancers.
3 strokes.
Just that. So I said, don't even start it because you are a winner, you know. And you couldn't be in a better lecture than this one because I'm going to use you every time because you are here with us. It's
No complaint.
and no complaint.
Just say thank you.
Yeah, that is the real humility and sacrifice. That's really hard. That's what I say. You're my hero. The Last Supper, where Jesus washes the feet of his disciples, it is a symbolic example of approach to the service. By performing a task usually associated with servants, Jesus demonstrates humility and teaches about the importance of selfless service. There is a video. They put together people that didn't like each other. They blind them, they took them in pairs, and they made one wash the feet of the other. And then they review. There is nothing more powerful than washing the feet of somebody else. Because it's not humiliating, but you've been humble. So because you cheer for another team, doesn't matter. I just wash your feet. You just wash mine. We have a bond that is way greater than just small things in life. So how can you use this as a metaphor? How can you wash the feet of people that you don't like too much? Or if you're brave as Thelma, that you really don't like. You know that cousin that talks about money all the time and put in your face all the time that you don't have the same resources that he does? You want him to go to heaven. Right? But mean it. I remember once when I started Disney, not at when I start, in the middle of my time with Disney, I was a photographer. And they put me at Epcot. And I only get the positions outside. So believe me, I was pitch dark, almost African American. It was sun every time. And I was about to, quit. And then somebody in Morocco told me one word to tell to my coordinator every time and see if it works. And the word was wassalamu alaikum. May the peace be among you. I couldn't say that in Portuguese. I'm Brazilian. I couldn't say that in English. I couldn't even say that in Spanish. But in Arabic, it felt good. So every time I look at the guy, I say, wassalamu alaikum, wassalamu alaikum. And 1 week after I started doing that, voila, I got my first assignment inside. So no more heat for at least 3 hours. Yay. Just because I changed my mind. But I didn't change my mind in a way that he wanted to do. I changed my mind the way that I could do. So again, serve is not serve with perfection. It's serve the way that you can serve, the way that you can help. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. Make it easier for yourself. Don't cheat. Serve with your heart, but the way that you can. Sometimes you cannot get too close, sometimes you cannot, but do something nice, even if it's just a thought. Are you guys with me so far? But because serving is not always a good thing. We cheat, right? Since the sponsor on our part may be simply a camouflage, a compulsive obligation to please everyone, as well as distracting us from the real mission on earth, which is to grow and mature spirituality. We are creatures of habits. We are creatures that live in society. And since we left the cave, we need to live in a group, otherwise we will die. Under the weather, wild animals, so you need to sometimes say what we call today white lies to belong to that society. And especially the guys, at least from my age, remember that we wish to do everything to belong to the group of the guy that has a lot of muscles and no brain. We love to be in this group because he was the biggest, the better group in school. You want to be there. So you start smoking, you start bullying, start doing things that you don't like to do it because you wanted to belong. So if you serve somebody just because you want to belong, this is not serving. This is cheating. Don't mistake one thing for the other. Just serve if you want to serve. If you don't want to serve and you want to look like a cool guy to everybody, you're not doing anything. And you know inside of you, and that's why you don't change it. That's why it doesn't work for you. Because inside of you, you know you're cheating. You're doing out of something. You're not doing it with a full heart. Paul defined true charity, implying that is the gathering of all qualities of the heart. That is love. So again, do you love yourself? If you do love yourself, then you can give love. If you don't love yourself, what can you give? Find a purpose to serve, not a lifestyle to live. We are so crazy about finding lifestyles. I want to be this, I want to be that. What is the purpose of being this or that? What do you want to be? What is your dream life?
I want to be able to love myself as I can be
Professionally, what you want to be?
I want to serve with my competency. I'm biologist, so I love life.
So your purpose is use biology to make greater things for humanity.
Also,
That's the purpose. For instance, what you see yourself? Where do you see yourself when you have a job, when you have a career? Yeah, that's her. Don't look back. That's her. Can I kill you, cameraman? I'm gonna kill you. No problem.
Uh-oh.
Talk to us.
Uh-oh.
You speak English, okay? More or less? Okay. What do you want to be when you get older? You want to be a dentist? You want to be an engineer? You want to be a doctor? So you want to heal patients. You want to heal people. You want to make them feel better. Right? You want to cure their diseases. Right? Talk to me in Portuguese, I'll translate to them. She wants to give her patients happiness. Why did Jesus say, let the children come to me? Because they are, thank you, by the way, because they are truth to their hearts. And we put too much garbage inside. And all of a sudden, we don't touch our truth the way they do. Until we pass to some big challenges. So when you hear that Spiritism say that we could learn through love and we could learn through pain, but unfortunately in this earth we learn through pain, we're not talking about being masochist or negative. It's just because pain is the fuel that takes us from point A to point B. Period. Embrace it. Not embrace the pain to don't be crazy, but understand if you feel some discomfort, it's because you're not good where you at. And the discomfort, it's just the fuel for you to move and to take some action. So she said that she wants to give happiness to her patients or to the world. What do you want to give? What do you want to give today? What do we want to give tomorrow? And how can you give this? Let us learn from the Divine Master the science of renewal of good and modify ourselves for the victory of good, elevating people and improving situations. It's always serving. As someone who knows that doing is the best process of advising. I've already heard that 1 to 1,000,000 times so far, but every time I see a chance, I will repeat that. He said that he was in McDonald's and he was purchasing a meal for him. And there was a guy in need. So he purchased a meal for this guy. That's great, isn't it? Is that serving? He stopped and he ate the meal with the guy. What did he do with that? I would say simply enough, but it's simply enough as an example, but it's sometimes really hard for us. But somebody that asks for a simple meal because they don't have money to purchase a meal, how do they feel about themselves? So for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, he validates this person. He didn't give a meal. He validates this person as a person that worth to sit on the side to have a meal. I know that some of those examples are really extreme for some of us, but they are there. outside for us to try to do it. And if it's not by holiday time, then tell me when. Because that's the time that I work on the fraternal help, or we don't call counseling anymore. And for 14 years, right? Well, crazy. This is the time that we have less and less people coming. It seems that nobody has problems in December because the environment, because the psychosphere start contributing for you to feel happy. So if you don't do this now, when? If you don't help people now and start creating a habit, when are you going to do this? When things are heavy? Probably not. It's just a thought, maybe a crazy thought. But maybe you can try to do that tomorrow. Just maybe. Charity is one of the points that Jesus really, it's dear to his heart. Work with charity. And he used to say that according to Jesus Christ, the Spirit only finds salvation if it practices charity. What is charity? Everything that we said so far. Everything that we show so far. Charity is the power of helping people, not just with money, not just with words, altogether, and maybe a little more. It depends. It depends on the case. How many times we've been here, Livia, remember that, and we were having a meeting and somebody just got through the door because he thought that it was like a gathering and he could get money out of to borrow to pay something to eat or maybe to drink. We don't know. Maybe he was used to get to get shoes out of the place in other places. But here, we try to accommodate. Of course, we're not going to keep somebody yelling in here. But some of our friends just took him away and help the way that we can. We know that we cannot help somebody to change or to progress if they don't want it to. So help is what can you give by the time that the help is needed. What kind of resources do you have? I used to play with companies that I do consulting, asking what human resources are. And they often refer to a person, if it's a small company, or to a department, if it's a big company. And I used to say, no. Human resources are the resources that you bring to the company as a human. What are the resources that you bring to the center as a human? What are the resources that you bring to your home as a human? To your job, to your daily life. If you don't know your resources, you don't know how to respond, and you don't know what can you do. So try to analyze yourselves from time to time. What kind of resources? Am I calm? Am I focused? Do I want to be here? Do I want to learn something? Otherwise, you're just sitting on the audience like a bubblehead. And your brain's in la la land. It's a waste of your time to be sincere. Here I'm committing sincericide. It's not sincerity, but that's the way it is. Check your resources. Are you willing to? Do you have what it takes? Help. Learn. Do something different. Be charitable. He demonstrated in his life how to give up his own interests in favor of benefiting another being. Have you ever did that? If you did, just tap your shoulder. Because those are rare moments, and when we do that, we feel so grateful. But if we pass, maybe we're going to have another one. Maybe not. Hopefully we do. Because most of them are tests, and tests are intended to, if you don't pass to the test, it will come back to you later. Furthermore, Jesus taught us that giving up your pride and ego to help a brother is a very wise attitude. And that is hard. Again. But if it's to help a brother, doesn't it worth?
Yes, tough.
That's a tough one. For most of us is a tough one. But we can try. Again, all we can do is try. Because I used to use the sayings of my dad, but this is in general. He used to say that the no you already have. All you can get is a maybe or a yes. So try, ask, do, and see what happens. If it doesn't work the way you want, so be it. We will try later when we have more resources. We will try later when we have another opportunity. But again, opportunity is knocking on your door right now. And it's called Christmas, where the family is invited. And we know that most of the time, our biggest challenges lies on our families. And when we lose somebody from the family, we feel different about it. But still, that annoying cousin, that mother-in-law that is awesome, still be there. And if you still go with the focus to find that he's still annoying, yes, guess what? And the first hello, you say, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I knew it. It's just the same. What do you expect? He will change just because of you? He will change just because of Christmas? He's been doing that forever. So it's not with you. Giving up your pride and ego and help a brother that can be disguised in this annoying person that you don't take it too much. It's an opportunity, guys. Why don't we use it? What is forgiveness? Let me ask it differently. What do you have forgive? What can you give right now? Can you make a compliment to her? Can you make a compliment? Can you do a compliment to her? Can you? Can you do that?
Okay.
Her.
You are so pretty.
There you go.
A compliment is not that hard. But sometimes if I don't know anybody, and if you are in an environment that is not neutral or friendly, we are not going to do it. Think about somebody that is suffering or is losing his energy, and you go and say,
Uh-oh.
you know that you're tired, my friend. But I want to thank you because you're here since the early hours to support your wife.
Yeah.
And you told me that you were going to stay here just to listen to this. So I
Exactly.
really want to thank you. I really want you to be proud of yourself.
Thanks so much. Appreciate that.
And now I'm feel replenished. Because I give, his energy came back to me. He is happy, and his happiness influenced me. It's that easy. It's that easy. So please, if you are depleted with energy, find somebody to give a compliment. Find somebody to clap. When I do this, of course I'm not going to do it here, but when I do this in my conferences, I ask everybody should clap to somebody. I pick a random person. This person that, oh my God, and smile. But the whole crowd that was like this, all of a sudden it's like this. Just because clapping. Just because you decide to do something to make some lives better. Someday of somebody's better. It's not rocket science, but it takes one little word called attitude. I'm gonna talk about attitude a little bit, in the words of Zig Ziglar. Your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. Want to fly high? Try. If you don't try, you don't fly. During his incarnation, Jesus was betrayed and humiliated by people who had previously shown themselves faithful to him. Do we feel like this somehow, sometime? Somebody that we trust and just put a knife in our back? Well, that's one point of view. What about the other? And what about the invitation that is there? Oh, the invitation is to die. No, the invitation is to learn why that happens. However, at no time he'd rebel or get angry. On the contrary, he had compassion and understood the low evolutionary level of those who hurt him. If you have a boss that yells at every single employee in your workstation, in your workplace, and you're the only one who didn't get yelled, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. But instead of that, you just say, whoa, he yelled at me. No, it's not he yelled at you. He yelled at anybody. So the problem's not you, it's him. And we feel like so frustrated, humiliated. Why? Just don't get the offer. Just don't take it to you. It's a gift. Give it back. It's not yours until you receive it. If you receive it, it's yours. If it's yours, then deal with it. Furthermore, he offers sincere forgiveness to all and salvation to those who repent. Let me be very clear here. To forgive is not to forget. You're not going to forget what they did to you. You're just going to forgive. Because if you don't forgive, it's like you taking a bottle of poison, wanting somebody else to die. He doesn't want. You are putting so much anger inside of you. You are putting so much bad substances inside your body. You're going to get sick. Just because you don't want to let it go. Again, understand that it's for the greater good, and the greater good of yours in the beginning. So, if you forgive, it's easier to serve somebody that you don't like. And have faith. Unshakable faith is an undeniable lesson from Jesus. It's not have faith in anything, but have faith in something that makes sense. Have faith in something that you know the situation that you did pretty much everything that you could do. And the situation is not so yet. What can you do? What else can you do? We're going to get crazy, we're going to get sick. We're going to get frustrated, you're going to get sick. You're going to get angry, you're going to get sick. You know why we use the word so be it? The sentence so be it. Because if you cannot change the thing right now, then so be it. Have faith. You did pretty much everything that you could. And if it doesn't work, probably it was not to work as if right now. It's not the answer that you want to hear, but it's the answer that is offered to us. The faith that does not need to be seen to have certainty and confidence. So let me ask you something real quick. Do you believe in God? Everybody here believes in God. Do you believe in yourself?
Yes.
I heard just few yeses. If you get the Minutes of Wisdom, it's a small book. It's a pocket book. There is one chapter that says just like that. God believes in you. If you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in God.
Boys,
Do you believe in God? Then believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself. You can do greater things because He believes in us. And this is not spiritist, but you're going to read, if you like one of the attractions around here, you're going to remember this sentence. All you need is faith, trust, and pixie dust. Walt Disney. What is pixie dust? Anybody here remember Peter Pan? So if the Tinkerbell comes over my head and sprinkle the pixie dust, will I fly? Yes or no? No. I need one more element. That is happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Was he saying? Focus on happy things. Focus on positive things. Then you will fly. All we need is faith, trust, and pixie dust. And pixie dust for us, spiritists, is we have the power of changing the day, to help our friends, and to do better. So, as this is the last meeting in English, I'm going to ask you some help. Help to broadcast this meeting on Thursdays. We want to see more Americans here. We want to spread the word. That's our mission here in U.S. To tell that this doctrine is for everyone. It's not just for Brazilians. It's not for just Spanish. It's for everyone. But we need you because we don't have all the power to spread the word that much. And if you like what you just hear from this whole year, please go ahead and share the wealth and help us to help more people around here. In truth, there are many workers in the world who deserve the blessing of heaven for the good they provide to the bodies and minds of creatures. But he who educates the eternal spirit, teaching and serving, hovers above them all. We can do that. I believe we can do that. If you believe, and if we all believe together, next year we're going to have a blessed year. Thank you all. Have a wonderful year. And help yourself and then help others with this message. Okay?